Hi, it's Mel here from Mel W Scrapping. I'm here to bring you my April layout share. I've done some of these layouts I've actually done videos for, but there's actually quite a few that I haven't. So the ones on top I haven't done videos for, and these were done while watching a Vicky Booten Saturday morning class that she does with different techniques. And this time round it was the very start of April. And I played along, and it was with watercolour paints. So this technique here was actually done with a little sponge. I didn't have an actual sponge, so I found one of my daughter's craft little round sponge things, and I just got her watercolour paints out, and I did this one, and it was just getting your sponge, popping it in the paint, and doing a line across the page in different colours. And then putting together a layout like this. So it was just the one photo, different things down the side. She used sequins to put on the different colours, but I wanted to use up some of my diamantes that are really old. So this is the first one. This is the one I really love. I did like the technique for this one. Sometimes you can play along with things and then really decide that you don't like it or you do like it. I did fussy cut the butterflies out of her Fernwood vellum collection, and then the rest, it's not all Fernwood, it's just bits and pieces that I had. So that's the first one. This one here, Vicky Booten again, watercolours again. This is going back to kindergarten times. This was finger painting. So you pop your finger in and you just went little dashes like that with different colours, and you kind of overlap them so that they all go into each other and go round in like a roundish rainbow half circle, and then pop your picture there. So yes, this was, and then I think at the time they used sequins. I just wanted to get some of these diamantes used up because they're so old. Putting it in your different colour categories going around. So that was number 2. I did like this one. Messy, but I did like it. This one here was using a brush, a paintbrush. I think I used this one here. I don't have many paintbrushes. So with your watercolours again, and it was just a matter of getting your paintbrush and just flicking it like that. Very much out of my comfort zone. I'm not an arty person as such to do with painting or things like that. And this was to do with, you know, journaling, to add journaling to your layouts, as well as being able to put photos on. So something to the side and then come around like that with your photos and your journaling. And this was, I did use Fernwood for this, I have to admit. Used the Fernwood collection for that. Yeah. So that was that one. I did like that one. Probably wouldn't do it again, this one, because it was, yeah, not up my alley, but I did it and I liked it. This one, I did the background. It was using just packaging technique and stenciling and stamping. And to tell you the truth, I hated the background so much that I've kind of nearly covered it all. So this one didn't turn out how I wanted it to turn out. It's just got splotches and stuff everywhere, and yeah, I've covered it up, especially all the mistakes. That's one of the ladies on the Vicky Booten Facebook group. When I said to her that I've done it, I liked most of them. One I really hated, and she said, best way is photos cover everything. So that's what I did. So that's the one I come up with for that one. I added the extra photo coming out here because the original was just the 3 kind of coming around like that, but I added that one. This one here was using a very different technique. There's lots of techniques on it. So watercolour paint with this bit of a background here, you can see that there's like funny lines going through. Believe it or not, we actually used cling wrap. So we got our sheet of cling wrap. We painted like the watercolour paint onto it. We got our sheet of cardboard and we just pressed it down like that on top of it. Then lifted it up, took the cling wrap off, and that's what it was left with. So you wait for that to dry, and then we used texture paste to do stenciling. So was to use 3 different stencils. So I've done stars over here. I used the Fernwood stencil here, and I used some butterflies. I added some texture butterflies on there. Didn't exactly come, and then splatters everywhere. Didn't come up exactly how I liked it, but with the photos on it, it doesn't look too bad. Don't mind this one as much as the other one that I did. So they are the Vicky Booten layouts that I did for April. I finally finished them off on the 30th of April. I had them all sitting there with pictures and bits and pieces on there. I just hadn't stuck it all down, because when you play along with Vicky, you got to keep up, and I wasn't keeping up very well. Okay, so the next ones that we'll go on to, I think 2 of these sketches I've got videos for. I think I remember the ones, but I've done quite a few of these. So Scrapper Sketch, Lisa from Scrapper Sketch sent us a thing this month, and it was she was going to give us different sketches for each season, and then we put our interpretation on it. So we went, I haven't got these in the right order, but winter is on top. This was the last sketch that I've done. I think there's still another one I have to do. I'm not quite caught up. So I did this one of our snowman when we went to the snow. This paper on the background here was something that I tried out some technique on the middle of it, and it didn't turn out how I wanted, but I actually loved this paper. So I thought this was a good opportunity. Let's hide the middle and use the rest. So this is one of the sketches that I came up with, layouts I came up with, and when we made the snowman, we called him Olaf, because this was back in 2019. So I found some old stickers of my daughters and added them on. So that's one layout there for winter. This layout here I've actually got a video for. I did a process video for this one. This was also in conjunction with Dotty About Flair's Cybercrop challenges that we did one weekend. We did all weekend. We had challenges throughout the weekend. And this was Scrappy Cathy's challenge that she set. And I followed along with that. So I incorporated Scrapper Sketch and Dotty About Flair's challenge. So that was that one. I did do a video on that one on my channel. This one here was also in conjunction with a Dotty About Flair's. It was Sally's challenge, her recipe. I had to use 2 photos, 2 buttons or circles or Flair, Dotty About Flair, 2 pattern papers, 2 hearts, and the title had to have 2 words or more. This was another winter sketch. So I think I achieved all that. I think I put more than 2 or everything on there. So that was that one. This was another Scrap Sketch winter sketch. I'm not sure, did I do this? Yes, I did this also in conjunction with Dotty About Flair. It was Sam's Tic-Tac-Toe, and I picked 3 photos, splatters, and stickers. On this paper, I found out that my red Kaiser Mist doesn't really come up that well when you splatter it on dark paper. The gold comes up excellent. Gold, Kaiser Craft Mist Gold's brilliant. So this was the layout I did for that one. Then we go on to autumn. Had to use triangles. Now the original sketch only had the 2 diamonds. For some unknown reason, I think I cut my triangles a little bit too small, and it didn't seem to work, so I added another one. So that was the autumn one. My video, that was just the sketch I did on that one. This was my going bold. This is an autumn one. This was just a sketch for Scrapper Sketch for autumn. I decided to go different. And I actually loved this layout. I thought this one looked quite good. Purple splatters, your square turned to a diamond, border, punch. Yeah, it was good. So that's that one. This is another autumn one for Scrap a Sketch. And it's probably one that I've done. And I'm not overly impressed with it. Something doesn't talk to me here, and I've done it anyway. It stayed like it, so it's fine. It's just not one of my favourites. The sketch was great. I just don't know what I did wrong. Anyway, that's that one. This one I do have a video for. I did the process video for this one. It was autumn. I popped this all together. As soon as I saw this sketch, I knew what I wanted to do. I fussy cut these autumn leaves out of a Kaiser craft paper that I'd got. I already had some little leaves in my stash. So this one I did like. I loved it. Now we go into spring. Now these were some new papers that I just got because for the month of April I bought the saltwater taffy ink that Tim brought out. And when I went in to get some, I went into my local scrapbook shop and got some. They have a cheap bin, a 50-cent bin, and I was going through it, and as soon as I saw these, I thought, oh, they'll go beautiful with that ink, and this is a saltwater taffy ink. So I got a few new 50-cent papers, and then the rest of it was just out of my stash. As soon as I saw this layout, I loved it. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So that was that one. This was it's kind of, well, in an album, it's going to be a partner page. I don't know if that comes up all right on the camera, but so this was the next one that I did for spring. We actually went away in spring. This was down at Penguin, and my daughter was standing next to the giant penguin at Penguin. So that's that one, and I just did packaging technique in the background for that one. This one here was a little bit different. I wanted to do something very different. So the sketch was to use a half circle. I don't think I did this one in conjunction with anything. No, it was just a sketch. And so this, the triangles here are actually folded over from this page here that I cut with my little knife, cut triangles into it. And then I just blended the ink around, and then for them to sit down on. That's that one. So now we go on to summer. Now, I'm pretty sure I may not have done a process video or not. In summer, it's Christmas for us here in Australia. But all the Christmas embellishments are made for winter. So I decided, okay, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to go with Christmas embellishments because they're wintered. They've got jumpers and beanies on, and I'll just pretend they're in winter and not Christmas. So, but I actually did a Christmas themed summer page. Okay, and this was another summer one. I may even have a video for that previous one. This was another summer one. The sketch actually called for these to be in the middle, so your corner went into here. But I had 3 photos and I didn't want to split them up, so I just flipped them out and put the corners over here. So that was that one. Scrap a sketch. Another one for summer. I'd actually just bought a whole piece of paper, and it was pool themed. So that's the pool, and then there was 2 chairs over here. So this actually called for a big circle on that side. So I decided just to cut my pool out and put that there. And I wanted to use these 2 photos because it was the start of summer. We just filled the pool up. You can't really see it in this photo. I've actually, somehow when I took the photo, I cut a head off. Don't know how I did that. But when she got in, she went under and come out. She had goosebumps all over her because the water was freezing. So it was only just the start of summer, so it wasn't mega hot. And, yeah, didn't Doesn't really show very well, but she's got goosebumps all over her. So that was that one. So in summer was also, this page was actually last year's photos. The rest were 2019. This is my daughter's grade 6 leavers dinner that she was done up for, and I wanted to do a page that showed her, we'd done her toes and they were the new shoes that she'd bought, and we'd done her fingernails, and then she had all the bracelets on, and I made my very first shaker pocket, which I was very proud of. So that was another achievement for me for April. My first shaker pocket. And there's no video for that one. Now the next three are ones that I did with Shamel Lane. I follow along with her over Monday and Friday that she has on her YouTube channel. So she does a page, she shows you a sketch of what she's going to do first, and then you go away and see what you can replicate. And she calls it the best of both worlds kit, because she puts together a kit and people can actually go online and buy that kit, or you can make it something similar out of your own stash. A lot of the time I can't get the pages that she's picked here in Australia. I do my best, but majority of the last couple of months I've actually just chose my own kit for a month and just played along. So this was just a matter of doing something here, down here. We stenciled on white, that was the saltwater taffy. That was featured for this month as well in Shamel's kit. And then I just border punched it out. So that was that. And it was a matter of having 3 photos. And somewhere to journal if you wanted to. I think Shamel just journaled down here, which is what I'll do later on as well. So that was that one. This was another one that she did. I keep getting stuck on the one underneath. It was the 2 photos. I think hers was smaller. She stenciled down each side. She just had little bits here, and then the main stacking of your behind your photos there with the journal. And stamping. She wanted to do stamping all around on the white background. So I did an Easter thing, but I don't have very good Easter stamps, so I just used butterflies and birds. So that was that one. And then she was on holidays for a week or so, and a February one popped up, and it was using multiple photos. So I decided to do my niece's birthday. So that was that one. That was to do with blending. This one here was for the Craft IQ Challenge on Facebook. Jackie, that organises that Facebook group, sets a challenge every month. And she sends us each day for 7 days a category of what you've got to have on your page. So let's say, for instance, there had to be stenciling, there had to be hexagons, there had to be hearts. The big twist at the end was 7 embellishment clusters. And I think there had to be a certain amount of pattern paper and things like that. A sequence was on that one as well. Vellum. I've got vellum in the background. So this is what I came up with out of my own thing of... So this was made for the Craft IQ Challenge for April. And I do have a video on that one. This page here I did for Dotty About Flares, did a hop for Sally Ann Floyd. She reached 500 Instagram followers. And it was to scrap lift something of Sally's. So sorry, losing my voice. And so I found this page. Actually, this sketch was set up for Sally's hop, that's right. And we all did our own version of this sketch. So this is what I came up with using saltwater taffy yet again. Now we go on to Dotty About Flare Cybercrop challenges that I don't have videos for. So this one was for Kelly's challenge, 5 old things from your stash. Now I chose, I've got to find it, these are little cupcake brads I've had since I think I very first started scrapbooking, along with these little hats. These chipboard letters here I've had since I started. 1, 2. Oh, the paper. This birthday paper here I've had since I started scrapbooking over 19 years ago. This is another one that I had never used, and this little tag here I've never used any of them. And this was actually some old paper as well. The rest of it, all these bits here, there was another, that's a pink with glitter cardstock, but it was an old patterned cardstock that I had. That's all scraps, those bits there. And washi tape. I hardly ever use washi tape. That was that one. This was, I've just found out where my Y came from. I have found a Y on something, and it's because I hadn't stuck down properly. Right. This was Adam's Celebrate Challenge. So it was just a matter of coming up with a layout that celebrated something. So I did one of my daughter's 10th birthday. And I made this cake with my husband's help. She wanted a Treasure Island cake, right or wrong. So you just made the cake and you had to cut out holes and fill it up with candy, then fill it all up with the cake again, and then do all this different coloured icing, and yeah, it was very intricate. And I raided her zoo box, her farm and zoo box. Put all the animals in the tree on. So this was the page I came up with for that. This one here was, I know this one. This was Lisa's sketch that she made for the Dotty Bout Flares crop. She made this especially up for that. So it was a matter of stripes, cluster going across the middle with your photo and a tag. So I added these two, I think. Loved this one. Really brought out the colours of my photo. So there you go. This one here was Dotty Bout Flares challenge. Jackie, I think, set this one. The month before, we'd actually had a little chat on our Facebook group, Dotty Bout Flare Facebook group, that you know, if you were to go back, what would your younger self tell your older self? And so for April, for the Dotty Bout Flares challenge, she set this challenge to do a layout on what you would tell your older self. So that's what I came up with for me. It was me younger, me older. That was me in grade 10. Yeah, so I came up with stenciling and that kind of background. So that was that one. This was another one, and I think it was yet again Adam's Surprise Challenge. You had to use lime, green, or green, blue, do a half-half, a vertical line, wood grain, food embellishments, food paper, confetti sprinkles or sequins. And you also had to scrap about food. That's what I came up with. I did half-half. At the time when I picked this navy blue paper out, I thought it was all different whisks. And then upon later on looking at it closely, they're actually globes. So don't laugh at me for that one. And this is my Easter pork that I'd cooked. I did have some cooking embellishments, which was a whisk, and I put some apples on there and a lime, half lime. That's actually an egg. And then I did stripes on this side. It's got wood grain there. It's wood grain paper that I used, white wood grain. So, and I used sequins everywhere. I went nuts with sequins. So this is what I came up with for that challenge. Okay, I think that's Dotty Bout Flares done. And then we go on to Mixed Media Mayhem. Every Friday they do they pick out a scrap lift for someone, and they try and then replicate that in their style. So one was picked, I think the original one was for Melinda Sweetman. And this is actually texture paste. So what I did is I got a heart. I think I've done a video on this one, so that'll explain what I did. So this is all texture paste, splatters, ink. And I came up with this one. I think that was for the first one. And the second week I came up with this one, which was Laura from City Scrapper. And it was all, I used the Fernwood collection for it. And I used 2 photos. I think Laura's was just one going horizontal. So this is what I came up with for that one. And I did water, I did the, getting all tongue-tied, packaging technique. And I did some blending over the top. And then some splatters. And I inked right around the edge. Haven't done that before, but I did it this time. So that was the one I came up with, that one. The next one was, I don't know who the original was for this one. Can't think off the top of my head. I did a quick video on the previous one. This one I haven't done a video for. This one I did in conjunction with a Dotty About Flares. And it was Helen's challenge to find a quote celebrating the end of something. Well, I couldn't find a quote that I wanted. The picture I picked out was the end of the day of my mum's 70th birthday. I went to pick up my daughter and I just took myself took a selfie of myself. So I was going through them and I found a quote that said, "I'm just me" by Freddie Mercury. Well, I'm a bit of a Freddie Mercury fan. So I used that. I'm just me. That's just me. And I did packaging technique and splatters all in the background with the bits coming out. And yet again, that was all scraps. So I've got some more scraps and some more old embellishments. I've had these for ages. So that was the second last one. The last one I did do a video on. And this original, at the time, I didn't realise the original was by our wonderful Scrappy Kathy. So yes, the original was Scrappy Kathy, and this is what I came up with from hers. This one I love. This one and the first one are going in frames. And I've done a video on this one. So there you go. And last but not least, I did a Scrappers Topsy-Turvy Easter Hop. And it was to come up with your secret stash of chocolates. Well, I don't have a secret stash, but at Easter time, Easter Bunny hides chocolates everywhere. And my daughter has to go and find them all around the house. But at the same time, you could either pick that or you could pick, go monochromatic. Well, I decided to go monochromatic and use yellow, which I don't normally do. Yellow is not really my go-to. So I thought, go outside my comfort zone yet again, do something different. And this is what I come up with for that. I used the 2 photos. At the same time, I had actually seen Ginger's Corner YouTube person on YouTube, and she comes up with some baseline, I actually show on my video, backgrounds using up a scraps. So all this is scraps. Everything I've used on here is scraps. Yeah, so it was really up here and across, and then add your photos in the middle. So she's really good to watch if you want to watch someone as well. There's some really good ladies and gents on YouTube. Dotty About Flares is Scrappy Adam, and he comes up with some brilliant things as well. It's like Scrappy Kathy. So yes, so there you go. That's my share for April. I don't know how many all up. I'll count them later on. But that's April done. So thank you everyone for watching. If you like this video and liked some of these layouts, by all means, pause it, take a screenshot, have a go and see what you can come up with. I don't mind at all. Most of these have been, you know, scrap lifted or sketches provided. So yeah, if you liked any of these, please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Thank you to all the people that have subscribed, and the new people that have subscribed. Thank you so much. And here's looking towards May already. So thank you very much for that, and I'll see you later on. Thank you. Bye.